This is episode 9. Hey, Saul, do you ever wonder at one point you just got to say F it, man? Like when you got to stop living up here and start living down here? I'm Marc Denny. I love movies and I'm all about the movie going experience. So much so I had to create a show called The Weekly Reference just so I had a place to geek out for a little bit. If you found this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., I really appreciate you stopping by. On this week's episode, we got some movie news to talk about in Mark's Top 5, including the Odyssey tickets are on sale, and Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell teaming up for an action comedy. And then I also want to talk about, for the main topic, this new documentary called Stands. So let's get into it. So Mark's Top 5 for this week, covering July 14th through July 18th, up until this recording, of course. The Odyssey. Tickets are on sale now, a year in advance, for the 70 millimeter IMAX screenings. The last time I checked, a lot of these showings were sold out. The one that's closest to me is Dallas. That one is completely sold out. And this is such a huge flex. I mean, Christopher Nolan is a big name, and I feel like he's the only one that could pull this off, like just by name. The Odyssey, the name you trust. Christopher Nolan, come see this movie a year from now. And I know this format is a lot of film historians and film people who are, I guess I want to say, bigger film fans than I am, because I don't understand aspect ratio. Listen, I watched Ryan Coogler talk about it with the Kodak like maybe 3 times, and I'm still like, okay, I just want to be in the theater to see these movies. So like, to me, I'm not precious about that, but I get it. I get why people get kind of really excited about seeing it in different formats, or the format that it's intended to be seen. From what I understand, it looks like it takes up the whole IMAX screen. So I'm not smart on this. If we can get Kevin McCarthy on here to explain that to us, that'd be awesome. But yeah, what a flex. This movie is it doesn't come out until July 17th, 2026. And most of the showings are sold out, or if at this point in time, they might be all sold out. And that's really cool. That's really great for filmmaking, really getting people in the seats and getting excited. Sinners did that this year. A lot of the 70 millimeter showings were starting to sell out really quickly. So much so they re-released it a couple weeks after it was out of the IMAX screenings, and it sold out again. Yeah, but the closest to me is Dallas, and I don't know. I there hasn't been a film quite yet to make me go like, yeah, I'll drive to Dallas to go see this. I don't know. I'll just wait until the normal tickets go on sale next year. Tron Ares, they released a new trailer. This movie comes out October 10th, 2025 of this year. It's got Jared Leto, Jeff Bridges, Evan Peters. Looks like a solid cast. It looks really cool. It really does. Bringing Tron to the real world, I think that's really awesome. I'm a little I'm not sold completely on Jared Leto being a lead in a film. I'm sure he can surprise me. I feel like I'm getting hints of his Blade Runner 2049 character in this performance, because it looks like he's like this clone that probably has a human past and sees echoes of his previous life, maybe. I don't know. And then there's, of course, Evan Peters, who's playing the businessman who thinks he can control this AI or Tron or whatever it is he's trying to control, and obviously loses control. And did we not learn anything from Terminator? The revisiting these AI stories and trying to bring this higher advanced technology into our space. We haven't learned nothing from James Cameron. I don't understand, but it looks really cool. That red and black looks awesome. 9 Inch Nails. That I like that the music that we're getting shown in this film, or in this trailer, I should say. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm gonna see it. This feels like a movie that I got to see with some friends rather than just by myself. And I don't mind seeing movies by myself. It just feels like this is a crowd type of movie. You should bring some friends to go see it. Also, Mortal Kombat 2 dropped a trailer. This one comes out in October 24th, 2025. Carl Urban apparently is the star of this one, it looks like. Johnny Cage is being introduced into this world. It feels like a sidestep. It feels like we put out the first movie, and I wasn't a huge fan of the first movie. We introduced this new character that happens to have Mortal Kombat tattooed to his chest. which for some reason his name is escaping me now. Sorry, I apologize. I had it all the way up until this point. But anyways, now we're introducing Johnny Cage, which totally reminiscent of Deadpool Wolverine when they introduce Wolverine for the first time in that film. And I thought I was the only one that's going to catch that, but I happened to catch a reel today from the Real Rejects, and I forget. Oh, shoot, I forgot his name now too. He mentioned Deadpool Wolverine. I was like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who thought that. It looks like a lot of fun. It's a Mortal Kombat film. It's gonna be bloody. It's gonna be this. What I thought was interesting though, when they do the finish him, the obviously the first Mortal Kombat, they had a lot more fatalities, or at least a lot more showing the end product. And this one, they really like. We're gonna say finish him, but we're only gonna show you a couple things. Like, we're not gonna spoil anything. They really did a nice job of like cutting around that and making sure they didn't spoil anything, other than the one fatality of "get over here" with Scorpion. But yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I think it looks better than the first one. And Carl Urban, I mean, adding him to the cast, that was such a brilliant choice. So I can't wait to see what he does as Johnny Cage. Then Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell. This is I got this from Deadline. They're going to star in a new action comedy together, which it's called Tough Guys, from Amazon MGM Studios. They've done Roadhouse, the remake. They got Bond. They're going to make Bond movies. What else they got going on over there? They have a lot going on over there. It's exciting. I want to see this team up. I've been looking forward to this team up. Honestly, the first thing I thought of was the sketch from Jimmy Kimmel, the knife guys. I love that sketch. I think they did it twice. It makes me laugh every single time. Ryan Gosling in comedy, both of them actually just do comedy so well. And what I like in recent years is Ryan's been really leaning on that comedy stuff. Like, it's in every one of his performances since, I don't know what was the jumping off, Crazy Stupid Love, was that he's always been charming and charismatic and stuff like that, but there was a certain point where all of a sudden now there's comedy mixed in everything. Now obviously Barbie is heavily comedic, the Nice Guys, which is underrated, underappreciated, and then of course the new trailer, that new sci-fi trailer for Project Hail Mary, they really leaned into the comedic bits with Ryan Gosling, and he can do it. He can deliver very well. He has some great SNL sketches of the probing thing and the papyrus. That's my favorite sketch of all time, is papyrus. And of course Will Ferrell, he's a comedic giant. He's always special. He's always somebody that doesn't matter if the movie's kind of mediocre. He's really fun to watch. He's always like when he comes on screen, he has this cool confidence about it. Like, it doesn't matter. Anything goes with him. And that's what I like about him the most. I just find him very magnetic. Like, he may, I don't want to say anything mean. Like, obviously my wife and my sister are like, oh, Ryan Gosling, ooh, they swoon over him. And Will Ferrell they both are these really cool guys who do comedy very well. And where was I going with that? I have no idea. I won't remember, but screw it. Let's keep going. Supergirl. They released a promotional poster. This time it says "look up," but the "up" is crossed out with the word "out," and you see Supergirl's from like her chin down. You get to see her costume, and she's drinking a Slurpee, and it's like this cool thing. Like, if you haven't seen Superman, I'm not gonna like go further than she has an appearance at the end. And there's a certain style, certain aesthetic of that appearance that is a through line to this promotional poster, and you can feel it, and it feels like, okay, I like this. We're gonna get a different flavor from Supergirl. It's gonna be definitely a different character. Obviously, it seems a more rambunctious, rebellious type of character compared to Superman Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, the one we just received that was directed by James Gunn. And this one comes out in June 26, 2026. So next summer. There's speculation, of course, the Comic-Con's coming up. We got a promotional poster. Does that mean we're going to get a little bit of a teaser? I hope so, man. I hope so. I'm so looking forward to what's going to come further down the pipe like I want to see what's next. I'm really excited about this universe that was set up with Superman. So yeah, there's the top 5 for this week. Let's get into our main topic. Stands. A new documentary is coming out. I guess it's going to be a limited release through AMC theaters, August 7th, 2025. It's directed by Steven Leckhart. I looked at his IMDb. You know, he's a writer, producer, director. Seems to be working predominantly documentaries type style films. Did a couple episodes here and there. So this is like his first full feature on his own. And I watched the trailer. It's like it's a 30-second tease. You know what I mean? The one surprise though, because okay, let me rewind the clock a little bit. I knew this was coming because I'm an Eminem fan, but also because they did this casting call thing back in April 2024, where you signed a bunch of documents and you could submit a 1-minute video, kind of explaining your fandom, your stan. How are you a stan, Eminem stan? And so I did that. I'm embarrassed. I didn't hear anything back, so I don't know. I'm assuming I'm not expecting to show up in the documentary, but I did submit a video because I am a big Eminem fan, and so I knew about this project, and now we're here. We're at a point where I think it made an appearance at a festival, if I'm not mistaken, a couple months back. And now it's going to be out limited time, and I'm really interested in seeing this documentary because I mean that relationship between Eminem and fans and everything. It's always been this. He's been really good about drawing the line of this is my life, this is my private life, and this is my persona, and then obviously he has a lot of fans, and so I want to. The thing I didn't know, sorry, was the interview with Eminem when he showed up in the teaser in this, and he asked, so what's your first question? I was like, oh snap! So he's actually going to be a part of this documentary, and I was like, I didn't know that part. So that's really cool because I want to hear his perspective. I want it to be a meaningful documentary, not just one of those like a fan made this documentary with fans, and it's here's the fans and you got Eminem's stamp of approval, but now it's even more so. It's not just a stamp of approval. He's in the documentary. He's producing it with Paul Rosenberg, and so I'm excited. I want to see this documentary. I want to see what it's all about because Stan is, it's to me, Stan is such a strong word because like I'm a huge fan of his, but I wouldn't, just because of the song Stan, it almost feels like, I know it's supposed to be a term of endearment nowadays, but just going based off the song, like I mean, I'm not Stan. I'm not gonna hide in Eminem's attic, which he referenced in "Don't Approach Me." Like I'm not gonna be. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm just a huge fan. He's my favorite artist of all time. Like if I were to rank it, he's my number one. He's my favorite artist of all time, no matter what. Doesn't matter what genre. He's my number one. And it's crazy because I don't get a lot of opportunities on the show to talk about Eminem. So if you can indulge me for a little bit to kind of geek out about Eminem for a little bit, this guy, he has zero idea. Like I get, he understands that his music has this impact, right? Probably bigger than he anticipated, but he has zero, like he has no idea how much of a positive impact he's had on my life. Despite anything comical or anything that he went to push the boundaries and all, take all that out. All the controversy and all that stuff. The things that he was, the songs that he's able to put out, the albums he's been able to put out, just come out at the right time for me, at a right time in my life, where it's just been this constant, I want to say support system, but this constant figure. He's like my comic book hero. Like compared to a Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, like that's what Eminem represents. He's that comic book character that just came to life one day and boom, he's been a part of my life ever since. And it's one of those crazy things. Like I remember seeing the My Name Is video drop. I remember when my parents divorced, the Marshall Mathers LP was like the first time I listened to a full album. And it's funny about that album is there was so much controversy around it. I knew about it, but I wasn't aware of it. Like at the same time, because I was an MTV kid. I was an MTV watching all the videos. Like that was my thing. And I remember I asked my my grandma, who's from Honduras, to buy me the Marshall Mathers LP. I thought I was being slick on buying this controversial album, right? That I didn't know everything that was going to be a part of the album. I just knew it was quote unquote dangerous. And so I remember asking her, "Could you buy this for me?" Not knowing that we were at Walmart, that Walmart only sold edited CDs. And so I was like so scared to listen to the album. Like it was the most dangerous thing that I could do at that time frame because I was such a goody two shoes. That was the most dangerous thing I could do, most rebellious thing. I remember hiding it underneath my mattress when I went back to my dad's. And so like, but like I remember that album and I remember listening to it all the through. And the funny story about that is that like a month before I bought the album, not knowing it's edited, of course. A friend of mine, I went to a sleepover, and his older brother said, "I'm gonna play you the scariest song off this album," and he turned off all the lights and he played Kim, and so that was like my first like. I remember being scared, like so scared. It was too traumatizing to the point where I went through the album like very carefully, and if anything sounded similar to that beat, I was like skip, skip. So it took me a while to finally listen to the whole thing in its entirety, and then from then on, it was just like I was just down to ride. The Eminem show all the way through. 8 Mile was such a huge film to me. It had the biggest impact on me. It made me rap for 10 years. I'm not even joking. That's where I started to pick up my pen and I started writing every weekend, every day, and to the point where I was actually making music and not very good music. Very similar in trying to get the tone of Eminem, Slim Shady, of course, because that's who I looked up to the most, and still not remotely as good as I mean, gosh, did you hear Animals this past month? My gosh, the way he's able to just that rhythm and the cadence and the schemes and the just the oh, I love it. I love it. I love how he rides beats. He's my favorite artist. Like when he comes on to a beat, it's just like I can't help it. I can't help have him be. He's the standout on every feature. Like it's just like it's to me. It's just wow. It's just always wow to me every time he makes an appearance. And I had an opportunity to see him live maybe 3 times in my life. I tried to go see him do the Anger Management Tour 3 back in '05. Dad said it was too expensive, couldn't make it work, so I missed that one. That one I was bummed because I remember I got the Clinton Sparks mixtape and I knew Ludacris and 50 and G Unit were going to be there. Like it was a big deal, but didn't make it to that one. And then the other closest time was 50 was performing in Austin one year. I can't remember, it was like 2011, 12, around there. And I had a sneaky feeling. I said, I bet M's going to make an appearance. And I didn't go. And then I find out later on, M made an appearance. He showed up and did Till I Collapse, and he did Patiently Waiting. I said, oh man, what I wouldn't give to see those 2 songs perform live. And then from then on, I just never had opportunity to see him live until last year, October 19th, 2024. He came out to Austin, performed at the F1. I want to say F1 festival. They were hosting F1 there, and he was performing at that weekend. And I had no idea what to expect. Like going to that show, there's so much things rushing through my mind seeing that show live. I didn't know we were gonna have to run like a stampede to find a decent spot. Like that was a surprise to me. I don't go to very many concerts. I don't. And so I didn't know what to expect. I did realize in the moment I got okay. Like I got up against the fence with everyone, and I was able to see the stage and stuff like that. I had a decent spot for being so far away. But then when I realized there was people on the track, I was like, oh, I should have spent a little more money so I could be on the track, especially since this is my first and maybe only time seeing him perform live, because who knows if he's ever going to do it again. So it was a big deal to me to go to that show. And then there was like 3 thoughts running through my mind. Was one, I need to be present. I need to take this all in, but I'm too excited. You know what I mean? And then 2 was like, oh, do I record? Do I record this? Do I record this? So I was too much in my head trying to like soak up this performance that I never know if this is going to be the last time I'm going to see it. And then also like, well, I got to record it at the same time. because this might be the only time that I get to see him. And so there was a lot running through my head. And then not only that, third was like I feel so bad for everyone around me because I'm there rapping the lyrics, not very well, sounding like just rapping my ass off, but like barely keeping up with him or messing up some words here and there because I was just so in my head during this whole thing. So man, if I ever get another opportunity again to see him live, I'm gonna take a couple pictures and then I'm just gonna live in the moment because I think that's the thing I regret the most is I should have just lived in the moment. Don't take any videos, maybe take a couple pictures, but just live there, man. Because it was amazing. It was everything I could hope for. So if it's the only time I get to see him live, man, at least I have some memories of the performance in my head and on my phone. Um, and then he's the only artist I would ever ask an autograph from. If there's like three times I tried to get an autograph. The Kamikaze plane. I don't know if you guys know about the Kamikaze plane. He put it out in honor of Kamikaze. Couldn't get my hands on it. Then they did this contest where you put your email in. If you're selected, you get an hour to buy this plane. I tried to do that. Didn't work out. And then the Complex magazine did the trading cards where you had a chance to get your hands on something that was autographed. Didn't get an autograph. He's probably the only one that if I have a short list, okay, I'm not greedy like that. I have a very short list of people that I would like to get an autograph from. And I think reality is I would like him to sign my 8 Mile Still book. That's probably the thing I want him to sign the most. Anyways, I'm sorry to gush and go on and on. I love him as an artist, man, and he's helped me out more than he knows, than he will ever know. And since I only got to talk about it for a minute in that one video, I don't feel like I got to really fully explain, I guess, my admiration for him and his work. And I hope he keeps working, man. I love the last album. I love every album he's put out. So I hope we get to hear more music. And like I said, don't have a lot of opportunities to talk about him on the Weekly Reference because this is a movie-related show solely based on movies. And I know he's going to show up in Happy Gilmore, but like this felt like the most opportune moment to fully go all out talking about Eminem. But I'm definitely interested in checking out this new documentary, Stance. Let me know what you guys think. That's it for this week. Like, subscribe, comment to say hi, share your excitement for anything I said in Marc's top 5. I want to do something a little bit different this week because I talked so much about Eminem and my admiration for him. Let me know a story below if you had any experiences with the MC, or maybe you have some cool moments from your childhood that I don't know, just something that stands out to you in relation to him as an artist. And, he's such an incredible talent, and I would like to read those stories if you have any. Until next week, peace out, rabbit.